I'm Andre Faust, and I'm standing in front of the New Brunswick Legislative Building where the official Autism Awareness Month has commenced. 9 years ago, the United Nations has sanctioned this month, April 2nd, as the month for autism awareness. As well, Autism Speaks has also launched a Light It Up Blue campaign, which entails iconic buildings, landmarks, households to light up in blue in the evenings to support those on the autistic spectrum and their families. What do we know about autism? Well, we know several things. One, it's a neurological condition. Secondly, it's caused by many factors, not only one thing causes it. We also know that it's a spectrum, that you have a range from mild to severe. And most important, what we do know is that 1 out of 6 children is diagnosed with autism. So what does that mean? That means that for every 68 children that are born, the probability of 1 being autistic or sitting somewhere on the autistic spectrum is possible. As a current parent or a future parent, that is important to know, because you may be in that 1 out of 6. And should it happen, you will need the resources. So that's why the Awareness Month is important, is to keep that in mind, that you could need future resources. And that's why it's good to support autism. Here in Fredericton, we do have one organization that I can think of right offhand. There might be others, but the one that comes to mind is Autism Connections Fredericton. Earlier, I met with Richard Hutchins, and we talked a bit about the organization. And anyway, let me introduce you to Rick, and he will tell you a little bit about the organization and what its aim is.
I'm with
Rick Hutchins.
Rich Hutchison, correct?
Yep.
And from what I understand, you have just recently been appointed a new position.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your new position?
Yeah, so I'm the new Executive Director for Autism Connections here in Fredericton. I've only been on the job for a couple of weeks. I don't really come from a large background in terms of working with autism, but I do have an extensive background working with social inclusion. I understand a lot of the challenges that are going on, so I'm pretty excited. The center is vital. It supplies a tremendous service to a lot of families, and it's only going to get better, so I'm up for it. It's going to be good.
Now, one of the things that what I find with the public is autism. Many people do not understand that it is actually a spectrum from highly functional to the other extreme. What do you see in that, or do you see that as a challenge?
I think it's like anything else. It has to do with education, right? Those of us that work in the field have a major responsibility to ensure that people are educated, that they have the right information, and they understand the spectrum, because too often it would be what you see in the newspaper related to something that's going on in schools or something that's going on with hard behaviors, and that's not the truth. We know that about the spectrum. We know that autism comes in so many different forms, but we also know it has a great success rate, especially with young people being able to start addressing some of those things and be more included in society as they get older. So, I mean, that's the goal. That's the goal.
Now, the inclusion, that is pretty important. Now, I'm going to move up on the spectrum. Some of these people, their parents are going to get old, and of course, all good things must come to an end. Do you know if there's anything or any plans, either by government or any other agency, to look after the more extreme?
I would say the answer would be no, probably, but again, I'm new, and so I need to educate myself a little bit more. But I do think in a general context, we have an aging population, not just with folks facing autism, and so we have this challenge right across the board on how we're going to take care of our seniors and how we're going to take care of our more vulnerable. So those types of challenges are part of the responsibility of community as well as government to start addressing those things and looking at what's best for the people, right? What's best for the people? What's the best situation? We want to make sure that people have, the ability to stay in their homes as long as they want to, the ability to be included in their society as long as they want to, the ability to work if they can, and the ability to be, participatory.
Just to finish up, you've just started with the center. Can you give a brief description of what the center is about, what services it offers?
Yeah, and again, I refer to being new. New is also an easy way of saying I don't know everything. But I'd say in general, it's the people's house, right? It's not that different than where we're standing right now in front of the legislature. The Autism Resource Center is there for the families. It's there for the families and for those that are within the spectrum, so that they have a place to go and they have services to support them. And so that's the trick. It's there, and we need to figure out a way to use it more and more and more, and make it more and more accessible. And give that place for families, give that place for people, so they know there's somewhere to go, and there's a place where they can feel comfortable, and just be like everybody else. Just enjoy social circumstances and enjoy opportunities. So.
Now, from what I understand, the renovated facility has just been recently reopened.
Yes.
So. Again, I realize that you're just stepping into it, so you may not have known what it was like before. But with the new facilities, what is there available?
I think it's more space. That's the best way to put it. There's more space, which means we can do more things. Probably more opportunities to have after-school programs, possibly camps, more adult opportunities, more workshops, just more. I mean, space gives you that, right? And so they now have a realistic space to work with, not just a cramped corridor. And so it's exciting. Yeah, there's a lot there.
Now, with that amount of space, does that open the doors for the possibility of having volunteers becoming more involved?
Oh, totally. But I mean, it's the people's house. Once again, it needs to be run on volunteers. I mean, there isn't, in the non-for-profit sector, there's not an endless amount of resources and dollars out there. Volunteers are the lifeblood of almost any organization. This would be no different. There's going to need to be a lot of volunteer engagement, a lot of people stepping up and to help out, for sure.
Well, thank you very much, Richard, and congratulations on your position.
Thanks, my friend.
It's up to you now whether you say gonna swim. Just keep your faith and your ship will come in. It's not so bad, I tell ya. And I say, wait, just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end of the day, we'll just have to say, I say, wait, just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end of the day, we'll just have to say it's alright. Got a smile on my face, I got four walls around me.